Davis police just moments ago posted an update about the stabbings investigation. No arrests or a suspect yet, but they say they've collected DNA evidence from each crime scene. They worked with a sketch artist and a witness for a sketch of a possible suspect, but that did not lead to an accurate description. Detectives continue to review numerous tips and leads. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Luke Clary. Thank you for joining us. 6 days ago, life changed for people in Davis. That's when the first stabbing victim was discovered in a public park. 2 more stabbings followed.
And the community is certainly rattled and taking precautions now with an attacker still on the run. As the search for the killer in Davis continues, many businesses are closing their doors early for the safety of their customers and employees.
ABC 10's Roxanne Elias is live in downtown Davis. And Roxanne, what are you hearing from these business owners?
Luke and Laura, as you can imagine, it has been a very trying week for these businesses that are feeding, entertaining the community here. But they said that after the 3rd stabbing and the attackers still on the loose, they knew that they had to prioritize safety for their customers and, of course, their employees. Come 8 o'clock tonight, some businesses in Davis will close their doors early.
So while there is a new feeling in the air of how people are approaching the situation and how it's impacted people, at the same time it has been really encouraging to see how people are coming together to collectively make decisions that will keep everybody safe.
After hearing from Davis police and following a 3rd stabbing, establishments like the Davis Food Co-op are closing at 8 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. They've also canceled the co-op block party scheduled for this Saturday.
Everything that we do, not just the decisions to change store hours, but all of the decisions that we make are with the community in mind because we are truly comprised of the community here.
Another business you won't find open late, Woodstock Pizza. They're closing down at 9 p.m. instead of midnight or 2 a.m. on the weekends.
Not all of our employees drive home. A lot of people bike home, some people walk, which actually our staff has been very supportive. There's people that are our managers have come from their own homes just to pick someone up, just to go and drop them off at their house.
Until the attacker is caught, they're asking people to shop and eat dinner earlier.
Of course, coming out of COVID and stuff, we need more business to be able to stay afloat, but we'll lose a week or two's worth of sales during the night to for our employees' safety.
We're looking forward to the moment when the community can breathe easy again and get back to being what Davis is, which is a safe community space that people can freely walk around and bike around without any additional fear.
I think that's what everyone is hoping for at this point. Woodstock Pizza says it plans to check in with some of the other businesses in the area to see kind of what they're doing. They also say that going into the weekend is usually, of course, when they make the most money. But at this point, what matters the most is safety for the employees and the customers. Luke, Laura?
Yeah, Roxanne, so important for people to stay vigilant, to stay aware of their surroundings, especially after dark. Our Roxanne Elias reporting live for us tonight, starting us off in Davis. Roxanne, thank you. 2 of the victims were part of Davis's unhoused community.
Yeah, and the city is responding with extra resources for people living on the streets. ABC 10's Becca Habiger joins us live now from Davis at the site of Monday night stabbing. Becca, there's a growing sense of anxiety each day that goes by and the attacker isn't found. We know police have stepped up patrols, but you found additional work being done to keep the vulnerable and exposed homeless population safe.
Yeah, that's right, Laura and Luke. It was here officials tell us under this tree near 2nd and L Streets in Davis where a woman was stabbed through her tent on Monday night. Now, let me say that again. She was stabbed through her tent where she slept, her only barrier to the outdoors. Now, other people here at the encampments heard her scream. The attacker ran away and she is recovering in the hospital tonight. But her stabbing, as well as the first stabbing, another unhoused man in Central Park last Thursday night, has the unhoused community here in Davis afraid for their lives.
That to me is really the scary part here, that randomly picking out homeless folks and stabbing them to death. Who it could be and why they're doing this and just the randomness of the whole thing, I think that's a very scary thing for almost anybody, and particularly when you're homeless and vulnerable like that.
Bill Pride is the executive director of Davis Community Meals and Housing, which serves people experiencing homelessness in Davis, including here at this new 4-story housing and resource center called Paul's Place. At last count, Pride says about 180 people were experiencing homelessness in the city of Davis, 100 of whom were living on the streets.
Well, everybody wanted to come in yesterday. I mean, I think everybody in town, especially after the Monday night incident when, the person went right through the tent to attack the woman, I think it brought home to everybody living homeless in the city of Davis to the idea that everybody's at risk at this point.
He says in partnership with the city, his organization has opened 24 emergency beds specifically to get people off the streets while the attacker or attackers are still on the loose. 19 people used those beds on Tuesday night, and the beds are filled for Wednesday night.
They just threw beds in here and said everybody's off the street.
Bill Movey is living in temporary housing here at Paul's Place. He moved in days before the first attack and says the unhoused community is on edge.
Kind of anxious for everybody out there. I mean, we have our housing, but a lot of people don't out there, and I'd hate to be out there.
Movey has lived in Davis for nearly 50 years and says these stabbings are unlike anything he's seen before.
It's just shattering to this kind of crime. It's crazy.
I asked the executive director of Davis Community Meals and Housing how people can help. He says there's a list of needs on their website, and we've put a link to that on our website. Just go to abc10.com/links.
Yeah, Becca, people on Facebook have been asking about members of the Davis homeless population who have pets. Tell us what's happening with them.
Yeah, Laura and Luke, the executive director, says that, sometimes pets aren't allowed at shelters, but given these emergency circumstances, unhoused community members with pets are allowed inside tonight.
Okay, a very important update. Becca Hoppeger live in Davis for us tonight. Thank you.
And that's an important consideration for people, their pets, of course.